96, 97, 98, 99, 100. Woo. Hey YouTube, welcome to the channel. All right, no, you are not on the wrong channel. This is Robert Simmons paying it forward. All right, you're not on the wrong channel, I promise. All right, so for all of you that have been to this channel before, welcome back. For all of you that haven't been here, just give you a quick summary about myself and the purpose of the channel. I'm a retired NYPD Motorcycle Highway Patrol Lieutenant. I did a marvelous 22-year career. 15 of those years were spent in the Highway Patrol Motorcycle Unit. Now, the purpose of this channel is to share with you guys my knowledge and my experience with the training that I received from the NYPD Motorcycle Unit in motorcycle operation, specifically slow speed motorcycle operation. And the reason I'm focusing on that aspect of motorcycle operation is because it's the part of motorcycle operation that the least amount of people are proficient in. Only 2% of motorcycle operators are proficient in slow speed motorcycle operation. So that's primarily why I focus on that. I also believe it's the most important part of operating a motorcycle because it's the part that requires the most skill from you. At speed, your motorcycle will go by itself. It doesn't need you. But the slower you go, the more input is going to be required from you to keep that motorcycle upright. And at 15 miles per hour or less, 100% of your skill is necessary to keep that motorcycle upright. So that's why we're going to talk about that part of motorcycle operation. And that's the part that I want to share with you. All right, that's the first part. The second part is getting your confidence level up. Okay, because a confident rider is a safer rider. All right, I want to make you be the boss of your motorcycle. All right, and that starts with you getting your confidence level up. And the confidence level will go up when you practice. Okay, but we want you to be the boss of the motorcycle. Okay, and if you are feeling any kind of apprehension about making a U-turn or making a sharp right turn or a sharp left turn, if any part of you feels awkward about it or tense, if you're riding around with your feet out instead of keeping your feet on the boards and using the clutch, the throttle, and the rear brake to keep the motorcycle upright, if you're doing any of these things, you're not the boss of your motorcycle, but we want to get you there, okay? All right, so that's the goal. But here's one of the most important things that I want to point out to you. While we're out here practicing, all we're doing is making right turns, left turns, U-turns, and going straight. I'm going to repeat that. We're making right turns, left turns, U-turns, and going straight. Fundamentally, this is like 101 in operating any motor vehicle. Making a right, making a left, making a U-turn, going straight. We're not going backwards. We're not doing wheelies. We're not doing endos. We're not jumping ramps. No tricks, just basic stuff. Seems like that's something that everyone should know how to do quite well, right? I mean, if you couldn't do that driving your car, you wouldn't pass a driving test. But they give you a motorcycle license, whether you could do that or not. It's odd to me, all right? Because a car is safer as far as you getting hurt than a motorcycle, all right? So this is a necessary skill, and it's a finite skill. You have to practice at it, because if you don't, even if you have it, you start to lose it, all right? Now, this is not a workout channel, but while I'm in the gym, I'm always thinking about what could I do to make myself a safer motorcycle rider? What could I come up with to pass on to you guys, what you can do to be a more proficient motorcycle rider in slow speed situations, all right? So that's what's going on here. Okay, so let's get into it. If you guys watched the last training session that we had, training session number two, where I was in a figure eight, coned off, and at a certain part of that figure eight, I failed to navigate a turn properly, and in so doing, I had to actually bring the motorcycle almost to a stop and then turn the handlebars and let the motorcycle fall in order to keep the turn. Not fall to the floor, but fall and then catch it with the throttle, clutch, and the rear brake. Also, in practice session number 3, if you watch that video, I also explained the process of sometimes being in a stationary position, and if you have to make a sharp turn, that you have to literally let the motorcycle fall to make the turn. Okay, so I came across a video that actually is relevant in this same situation. So rather than me talking to you about it, I'm just going to show it to you. Watch this. Okay, here I am entering a U-turn, but trying to keep the motorcycle straight up and go as slow as possible. At a certain point, it feels like I'm going to have to put my foot down. I let the clutch out, give it a little throttle, turn the handlebars to the right, then to the left, and dip it, which is the only way I will be able to make that turn. Let's take another look at that. So I want you to look at two things here. The first thing is, once again, when you feel like you're going to have to put your foot down, all you have to do is let the clutch out, give it some gas, you're already preloaded. And the second thing is, if you need to make a turn quickly, right here, you have to let that motorcycle fall. It's the only way I would be able to make that turn without going over that line or hitting those cones. It feels funny, but you have to trust it. If you trust that as long as there's power going to the rear wheel, the motorcycle is not going to fall, it's a lot less concerning to make this move. So that's why I'm just trying to get through your head. Just trust and believe that as long as power is going to the rear wheel, you'll be fine. All right, so if I want to make a U-turn here, and I don't have room to move up first and then blah, blah, blah. I don't have room to swing and blah, blah, blah. I'm going to turn my handlebars all the way. Gosh. And of course the rear brake is covered. And then once I put this foot up, let out the clutch, give it gas. The gas is going to be preloaded anyway. I always preload first. And I'm just going to let the motorcycle fall and just catch it with the clutch. Oh! Wow. 96, 97, 98, 99, 100. Oh, good set. All right, guys, so that's basically it in a nutshell. The main point that I want you to take away from this is I need you to trust and believe that as long as there's power going to the rear wheel, you're not going to drop the motorcycle, okay? Keep saying that to yourself. As long as I'm preloaded and I have power going to the rear wheel, meaning you're in the friction zone, right? Preload, so that means power is going to the rear wheel. You haven't released it yet, but it's there, it's available, it's in reserves. As soon as you let your clutch hand open, that's when the power is going to go to the rear wheel. So once you feel that power, that's where your hand stays. Leave it there, all right? That's power actually going to the rear wheel. Close your hand, you lose the power. Open your hand, just a little bit, you get a little bit. The more you open your hand, the more power you get. You don't want full power and you don't need it. That's why you stay in the friction zone the whole time. But you're at the top of the friction zone. By the top of the friction zone, I mean the point closest to releasing it totally, so you have full power, okay? And again, everybody's clutch is different, so you know where that is, all right? So as long as you have power going to that rear wheel, you can do whatever you want. You can lean the bike, you know, within its limits. You can lean the bike, you can make U-turns, you can make left turns. You can clearly do what I showed you in this video where you just let the bike drop and you open your hand up and it goes, all right? So trust and believe, but the only way you're gonna be able to trust and believe that and really believe it is you have to practice it and you have to keep doing it. And the best way to do that is, again, that exercise number 1, where you're riding straight and you're riding slow enough where you feel like you have to put your foot down. And as soon as you feel like, uh-oh, let the clutch out, you'll see it'll pick up. All right, so if you're doing all of this, that's fine. Nothing wrong with that at all. As soon as it feels like you want to put your foot down, let the clutch out. It's going to straighten up. And that same concept is the same no matter what you're doing. When we were doing the left turn, same thing. You know, as soon as you feel like you're going to fall, that actually brings you back straight up. All right, that's all you need to do. Every now and then you need to move the handlebars too. But the point is, you're not going to fall. The bike's not going to drop. Okay? All right. I think that's enough said about that. Again, I want to thank you guys for joining me. I want to thank you guys for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. If you like the video, I appreciate the likes and I appreciate you sharing. All right, the sharing is definitely important because I do get a lot of comments saying, hey, I stumbled upon your channel. And that's good, but I want you to pass this on to as many people as possible, okay? Because the more of us that are knowledgeable in this, enough of this 2% thing. We need to get that number up, all right, so that more people are proficient in slow speed motorcycle operation. All right, my boys and girls in blue, please be careful out there. All right, don't get complacent. All my two-wheelers, that's you guys, same message. Do not get complacent out there. Spend more time being thankful for the things that you have and less time complaining about the things that you don't. I want to give a special shout out to NYPD Highway Patrol, specifically Highway 1, that's where I worked, and the training that I received from the Highway District Motorcycle Unit, okay, because that's where all of this started. All right, guys, until next time, practice, 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 because I need your confidence up here, and if your confidence is high, you're going to be a safer rider. All right, guys, this is Mark Tillman out of Detroit. Mark rides a 2017 Ultra Limited. He's been riding for 16 years, and when asked how he rates himself on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the best in his slow speed motorcycle operating, he gave himself an 8. Now in this picture, he's practicing the iron cross, and he's pretty good, so good job, Mark. Keep it up.